Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. Again, I am Doug Sashry, and as always, I am joined by
Rob Mendiola.
Hey.
Hey.
It's a nice...
what is it, Friday?
Nice Friday evening. It's not 150,000 degrees outside. It's only about...
It was.
It's close to it still, but not that bad, yeah. That's the one thing on the Weather Channel app. It'll send me... I want thunderstorms and I want those kind of advisories, but I don't want a heat advisory every day because guess what? I can
There's always a
predict that there's going to be a heat advisory.
It's July
till October.
Right.
Yeah. I don't need the Weather Channel app to do that for me,
exactly.
but it hard-hittingly does. So, but yeah,
it's the one thing they get right 100% of the time.
Yeah, boy, that's really, I'm pretty sure that they check that box to send out that alert at the start of the summer for us, and they just say, well, we'll leave it here because we will not have to take it off. You know, especially when we hit 100 already. When we hit it in June, I knew that July and August are going to be.
Oh, it's going to be brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be hot. That's typical. It builds. The heat builds. If you put a foundation of heat earlier in the year, then it will do nothing but build on that. And our low temperatures will be like 77 at night, or and that's how it's going to be because the heat started early.
But that didn't stop us from getting out today, did it?
It did not stop us from getting out today, and
we had a little field trip, kind of, right?
We did have a field trip, and
no parent forums were needed.
Well, wives were needed.
Well,
yeah, I mean that's we had to be
the bodyguards.
That's right.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of wives, today joining us is my wife, Laura Sashry.
Awesome.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Doug.
Yay. And are you happy to be on the podcast this time?
I am. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad. Cool. We all made a trip tonight. We thought this would be good filler. And also selfishly, my favorite movie ever is Raiders of the Lost Ark. And, and Harrison Ford is my favorite living actor. I have seen every Indiana Jones movie, the Crystal Skull. Laura was upset about it, but I told her I was really troubled by that movie until I saw it a second time. I mean, when I saw it a second time, but I didn't think it was The Godfather, but I liked it. I liked it the second time.
What was troubling about it?
Well, it's just, when you went with the alien, it went far-fetched. I mean, just further out than we had ever,
That was the issue I had with it, is everything was all about artifacts and history, and then they're like, oh, it's an alien. So it was like, oh.
Yeah, and Malcolm would be saying, and yes, what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
The first one was the best one, right?
I think so. Three was really close. And as we're going to discuss today, this is my personal opinion, but I thought the new movie was very close to 3 on how good it was. I was shocked. I mean, I wanted this, but realistically, I didn't. It's very hard to live up to standards. 2 was a good movie too, but in fact, 2 got a good stretch of being mentioned by the characters in this show at one point. But I've always thought 1 and then 3 were the 2 best, but no, I think this one is right up there with 3. I thought it was really good. I mean, they did a good job on it. It wasn't a 5-minute movie. It was a good 2+.
Yeah.
And
you sat there the whole time? Well, almost the whole time.
Well, yeah, I mean, boy, look, I'm fidgety. I'm what am I? AHDD, ABC?
Yeah.
What is it, wife?
All of them.
Yeah, and I can't sit still. It drives. My son is in film school, and he is very serious on his films. Like the movies I would hate, like when I was, younger than his age, he loves, he'll watch foreign films. he
Oh, yeah.
hates watching movies with me because, well, I mean, what he basically does is he watches me during a movie. If I touch my phone, if I stand up, he's squinting.
Focus.
Yeah, it's not like I could be playing a game with him and watching a movie. There's no way I could do that because I would get criticized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was a little jittery, but man, it was so action. Laura and I were talking on the couple scenes in particular to me. I mean, it was lots, but the chase scene I thought was amazing. Going through, I was like, wow, they really did this really, really, really good.
And they were in Sicily, supposedly.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's chase scenes used to be the old big deal back in the day, and then they kind of burn out and fade away. But man, they did a good job on this one. It's the best one I've seen in a long time. And then the rain when they were going on the plane, she was riding the bike.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
wow,
good.
this looks really, really good, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't 3D, but it was as stand out as you could get, in high
Yeah.
def. It looked really fantastic. And yeah, we went to a little one of the a movie. What's this called? The one we went to?
Cut. Mm-hmm.
It's by Cinemark, and it's where they serve you
In Cyprus.
in the Houston area, and they serve you
The recliners and all that.
recliners, and you got food and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought their service was fantastic.
It was good, yeah.
It
Yeah,
was good.
but what are your opinions on the movie? See, I'll eat up the whole time.
I liked that it didn't have a lot of political stuff in it. I noticed that right away, that it was kind of absent of that, which I appreciated.
Yeah, well, you're not going to catch that. We didn't catch that on any of the other ones, did we? On Indiana Jones?
I don't think so, no.
No,
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
No. Maybe it's the Steven Spielberg thing, or I don't know. Maybe that's something they just try to avoid or something, but
I think it's a good idea.
it was definitely a good idea, yeah.
Avoid at all costs. That's why we go to these
Yeah.
movies. We go to escape.
To escape, yeah.
Escape.
But yeah, that's the first thing I noticed right away.
Yeah.
And then all the Germans,
Yeah, that's right.
I like that.
I was kind of shocked that they allowed that many Nazis in one film.
Well, that's the most filmed at one time since Nuremberg. Yeah. Go
No,
ahead.
that is kind of what I liked about it. It kept true to like the Nazis from like the first movies, and then they
Yeah.
didn't.
That's right.
They did.
Yeah.
They
So it kept true like right to that same time
Kinda full
frame,
circle.
and yeah,
They did. They had a character, like somebody who was working with Werner Braun, the guy who created the V2 rockets and stuff like that in Germany, and then they brought them to the United States. They picked the people that could help the each country. Russia did that, and so did the United States and Britain, and they were the ones that developed those rockets, and they did. They got us out, and they got us to space. So they put them down in Huntsville, Alabama, and that's why they have a little space thing there. So they did develop that. So I thought that was kind of cool that they brought that aspect into this film, and that was pretty good. Wife, what did you anything anything in particular stand out in this one?
I don't want to like spoil it for people though.
Well, we're reviewing it now. I mean, so it's okay. And we are put a spoiler on it. It says,
spoiler alert.
yeah, it does say in review
Yeah.
on this one, on our podcast. So then this will be out in about 3 weeks.
Okay. So,
Oh, okay.
so if they hadn't seen it by then it's on them.
That's right.
Too bad.
Let me think. It was such a good movie. There were a lot of really good parts. Rob, what stuck out? What stuck out to you?
I always like the little trick things that he does. The whole down the rabbit hole thing. I like how they go through the little
Like
stuff, and it's kind of like the booby trap stuff.
yeah, like he figures stuff out on how to
Yeah.
make, like when the
Yeah.
the gas was coming, the methane was coming up. Yeah,
Right. I thought it was cool. Like I like those scenes.
Yeah,
Those are my favorite always.
yeah, because he's not panicky. He's thinking it through.
He's thinking it through,
And
strategizing.
she was really worried.
Yeah.
and she was coughing, and Yeah, he was thinking it through.
And he was thinking it through, just strategizing and just making it happen, you know.
And I
think that's really cool.
Yeah, that was amazing. When they got down in there, you know, I won't go into the whole detail because I know some people, but this is a review, so spoiler alert. But no, the things that they found in that crypt down below was, I mean, that was awesome. I thought
was cool.
That was really nice, you know, and the fact that I mean, how they played it out, you know, they did talk about what happened to his kid, you know, because that was a big thing. Who's the guy that played his son in the last movie?
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, people have a problem with Shia LaBeouf. I really don't care either way.
Shia LaBeouf has a problem with Shia LaBeouf.
I think that's probably it. Yeah,
I think he's getting better though. You know, maturity. Changes a lot of things.
I don't care either way. He's a character.
Yeah.
He's
an actor.
This is Indiana
Jones.
A human. Yeah, everybody else, I'm like, whatever, you know. But for that, they did bring back Sala from, you know, who was in the first film, which I love that.
They didn't bring back Short Round, which
I thought they did.
I thought they did too. I was kind of disappointed in that.
Short Round wasn't somebody that we didn't notice in the film, was he?
No, not at all. You would have he would have stood out.
Yeah, because
and that's probably why they didn't bring him back, because maybe it would have just been too much.
They had a new Short Round.
I was going to say that might have been why they had a new one.
I said, "No time for love, Dr. Jones." Yeah, so that's that they did have that, but I thought for sure that he wasn't.
Yeah, I kept waiting for him, but
because they were at
maybe he'll come this one.
Yeah, they were at the premieres and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
that's right. Yeah.
The guy that plays Sala, I love him. He's been in so much good stuff. He's a good character actor. And Davies, is that his last name? I can't remember, but he's fantastic. And
I wasn't aware it was going to be shot or took place in the 60s, basically.
Yeah, so
I was surprised by that. You know?
Yeah, what was that? It had to be. What was the moon landing? 68
or
68? Yeah,
68, 69.
And
so I thought you know, it was new. I thought it was going to be like all modern and all that, but they took it back, you know, so it's cool.
Yeah, you see older Indiana Jones, and
69.
Yeah, 69, and they get nice, and you get CGI face on some scenes earlier but I didn't even notice it, you know, really. To me, the only thing I noticed that was CGI was when he was running on top of that train from a distance once.
That was bad.
You could see that,
Yeah, that was the only time I really ever noticed it, you know, and but I was impressed. That was
insurance won't let you do that live, you know.
Yeah, probably not. I'm gonna guess, especially these days, you know. So
with a 70-year-old.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure if he's not pushing 80.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think he is.
He might be. Yeah.
How old is Harrison Ford, dear?
I mean, he's up there. Yeah, he's
I think
around.
he's.
Wait, let me ask Google.
Yeah, ask Google how old Harrison Ford is. I think he's about 80.
Is he still married to that Callista Flockhart?
I think they split.
Oh, didn't they? Okay.
Yeah. 81.
He's 81.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So,
this is it. This is the last one. No BS, you know.
Yeah.
So I was glad his character wasn't ended at the end, and I'm glad he didn't stay, which I won't say that, but I'm glad he didn't stay where he was, because
you don't want to do that. I mean,
I didn't want that. I didn't want like Dr. Samuel Beckett lost in time like he was on Quantum Leap, you know.
I think it was right to not leave him there. Yeah.
Right. I agree. And to me, it was a perfect capper on that series. How big a fan of Indiana Jones series have you been?
Well, I mean, I watched them all, you know, and I'm not a big movie buff, but, you know, I've seen them all, definitely.
I've seen them all.
Yeah. I like the excitement, the gadgets, and like I said, the tunnel routes and all that, you know, getting through all the little mazes and stuff, you know.
Yeah. And it's
always fun, exciting.
Did you think it was funny? You know, instead of snakes, why did it have to be snakes? It was eels.
Eels. They look like snakes.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen an eel. Caught one, you know, back fishing in Louisiana. It's been a while since I've done that.
Yeah.
But so that was kind of funny. And then you had the centipedes and all that through that. Yeah,
There's some good quotes in there too, you know. I caught a few quotes. I was like, oh, that's a cool quote.
Yeah, anything in particular that stands out?
I don't recall them
because it's so fresh. But we'll remember it tomorrow,
I'll
probably.
remember tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was really good. And in fact, the ending, well, not the ending, but when they're getting to the treasure part, or like that crypt,
Yeah.
it reminded me a lot of, on the third one, when he had to go with his dad inside of, what's the city, Petra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they had to go inside of there, and he had to walk on that part. So kind of him going back there kind of reminded me of that, and that was really nice. Like, to me, it just brought back a lot of memories of that third film. Had that character was his sidekick, the older guy, was he in the last movie?
I don't recall. He didn't look familiar to me, but
He did, but I can't remember if it was from that movie.
Yeah. What do you think about the Wombat character, Laura?
Oh, her.
Yeah, she's the co-lead, right?
Yeah.
I guess you would.
Yeah.
Supporting
She
actor.
did. I think she did a good job. I think she held her own. I think it was.
Yeah. She portrayed herself pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Punched a few jaws.
And she changed her focus from the start of the movie to the end, which was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think she finally got it right.
Mm-hmm. I had to remember whether Karen Allen was still alive or not. I was like, wait a minute, is she still alive? Because they're split, and no, wait, she is alive. Yes, and I did see something about her at the premiere of that movie too. So that was good. So yeah,
Yeah, it was cool to see her on there.
Yeah, I mean they put back, they got back as much of the old cast, I guess, as they possibly could. The ones, I mean, guys like Delholm Elliott, which was the guy he worked with in the first movie, the one that was at the university with him. He's long since passed, Right. But they put back as many characters as they possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
God, what a great concept on how they did that.
Great how they did that, and the little references he made.
Mm-hmm. On
like you haven't been under a voodoo curse.
Yeah,
drink blood. Those little things I loved.
What is he? And that's what I was saying. They were referencing the second movie, but then they made about 3 or 4 references in a row right to that movie. I was like, "Where you go, man?"
It was really nice. It was nice to see that.
Yeah, and I like I said, I was more so than the Aliens tie-in. This one, the way that they did it with the time travel thing on there, I thought it was fantastic. The way that
it worked.
It worked really well.
Yeah. And I would have never guessed that. Like I said, going into this, I did not expect it to be that, but I would suggest anybody go see this movie. You'll love it.
I think it works so well because of the history behind it and where it was, because he was an archaeologist and where the dial came from, and then how it got separated. I thought that was genius. Yeah,
they stayed true to, I guess, what they had done in the first 3.
Because it wasn't an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So they did a good job on that.
Nothing against aliens, people.
No. Nothing against them.
Don't hurt anyone's feelings.
Everyone has their place.
That's right.
Yeah, including aliens.
Right.
But they do, but no, the archaeology aspect of that's what Indiana Jones was, and that's
absolutely.
It's funny. I Larry Gilstrap. I took his kid came out to our place at the beach a couple times, and one of the times, like a day before his parents would get there, he'd come early with Uncle Doug. So I got him to watch. He told me he wanted to be an archaeologist. So I said, "Really?" I said, "Have you ever seen this movie?" He goes, "No." He was sold.
Yeah.
Put him down in front. Yeah.
Well, one of the
original.
The original.
The first one, yeah.
Wow, you see, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Man, that movie is, to me, it just stands the test of time because
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's placed in history, I think it's fun for any kid, imagination and adventure, What kid's not going to like that?
Yeah.
But
I was just telling that to a young guy at work like last week, that he should definitely see some of these movies, because somebody asked him if he'd seen something like Fast Times at Ridgemont High or something, And he's like, no, I never heard of that. It's like, well, you need to go watch some of these older movies,
Yeah, some of them
Breakfast
are really
Club,
good.
those kind of movies, they just stand the test of time,
Well, some of them, because some of the references are still used today.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But no, that's I think that was a good way for Harrison Ford to end out that character and
kind of sign off Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
Not bad. Did you enjoy your dinner? What did you order?
I went easy, man. I just wanted some simple chicken strips and the fries.
Yeah.
And it was actually.
What'd you get, Laura?
Oh, I had a chicken wrap.
Oh, okay.
What'd you have?
I had a grilled chicken sandwich, but it was like
day.
Like a 5-inch chicken ball.
Oh, that chicken wrap was huge.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And what did your wife? What did Spring have?
She had pretzels.
Pretzel sticks.
Because I saw this big thing stack. I was like, what did she got this shish kebab? I couldn't tell. It was dark.
She had pretzels and rum.
Wow. Well, that's quite the
I know.
combination there. But
yep.
Breakfast of champions.
Right, I know.
That's right. Okay.
She knows how to do it right.
I guess we've discussed anything. Anybody else want to add anything else to this?
Laura?
No.
That's all you got?
Today. Doug talks enough for all of us, so
she's probably ready to get home, Doug.
My mom claimed that I had diarrhea of the mouth, and she was right. But
who's watching Jack? Is Jack alone today?
He can be by himself.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Jack is an animal, by the way, a dog, not a small child in a crib. So we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
But
give him the vodka bottle and head out.
Yeah. No, but I guess I'll say thanks for listening to Nonsense Chronicles. Please like and subscribe, and we will talk to you again.
Cool.